Now, CE approval might not be the most exhilarating of subjects, but some upcoming changes will affect us as a manufacturer, as well as our distributors, our dealers, and of course you, the end user. In this video, I'm going to try and explain exactly what that means. Now, you may already be aware that recently new CE testing standards for motorcycle boots and gloves have been released. What you might not be aware of is the new testing standards for jackets, jeans and one-piece suits that's also under development and close to being finished. These new standards are part of a push to ensure as many motorcyclists across Europe are protected when riding and can easily identify products that are designed with a safety priority versus so-called motorcycle fashion products. In recent years, RST have introduced a full line of boots and gloves which are CE approved, and for 2018 we're proud to take it one step further with a full range of CE approved jackets, jeans and one-piece suits. Unlike some products on the market where just one material might meet the CE standard, when we say CE approved, we mean it. Any products from RST with the motorcycle pictogram, which you can see right here, have been approved as a complete product. This means every material, seam, as well as the design of the product meet the requirements, so you can have complete trust in your RST garment. Now, don't take our word for it. Motorcycle PPE isn't something that can be self-certified. It has to be approved by an independent laboratory specialising in motorcycle PPE. Always keen to stay one step ahead, we've been working as closely as possible to the new testing standards under development for motorcycle clothing as we certify our RST range. If you want the full spec sheet on the requirements of the garment and the tests given, head to our website rst-moto.com. But in this video, I just want to touch briefly on the three main tests given to garments to obtain their CE status. The first test is tear strength. The material used in the garment is placed in a testing rig which clamps two ends of the material and applies opposing pressure to try and tear it. Depending how much pressure is applied to the material will determine its rating. As you can see on the table, certain zones of the garment need to be able to handle greater forces. So while we're at it, let's take a look at the different zones. Zone 1 areas, for instance, are the areas of the garment which are most likely to be the first contact point in the event of an accident: elbows, shoulders, knees and the hip area. Zone 3 are those areas less likely to be struck in an accident, i.e. the chest area and the inside leg, and Zone 2 is pretty much the rest of the suit. The second test is an abrasion resistance test. This tests a sample piece of material which is dropped onto a belt sander, and the test will end when the material has worn through. As with the first test, there are different performance requirements for the materials depending on the zone they fall into on the garment. In the table you can see the minimum times the sample needs to withstand to receive a pass. Those of you who know a little more about CE testing might be aware that a new test for motorcycle abrasion is under development. This is known as the Darmstadt method and aims to provide a more realistic test of abrasion protection, including simulating the friction between the material and the road surface. Again, to stay one step ahead of the curve, we've made sure to test the materials to both methods. Oh, quick side note. You can see from the development of the shoulder protection on our race suit, we've researched materials with a lower coefficient of friction than leather, and we found that having the TPU or the carbon slider actually helps dissipate energy away from the rider, reducing the risk of injuring that collarbone. Carry on, Chris. The final test is the seam strength test. Again, similar to the tear strength test, this measures the strength of a seam. All seams on RST garments are either double or triple stitched with the highest quality bonded nylon thread to ensure the strongest possible seam. Below are the figures the seam needs to withstand to be able to receive either an A, a AA or a AAA rating. Another great feature we have on our garments, and one that keeps our safety standards so high, is that we ensure that at least one seam is always protected by an outer shell of material. So it is the material that makes initial contact with the road and not the seam directly. A garment will only receive a rating based upon its lowest scoring. For instance, if it passes all the tests to a AAA standard, but one component only receives an A, then the garment will receive an A rating. That right there is CE and the new CE testing standards in a nutshell. We're proud of our safety record here at RST and being at the sharp end of development when it comes to safer motorcycle clothing. That is in part due to our relationship we have with the Isle of Man TT, where we have just extended our safety partnership with the TT for another 5 years, which gives us not only a huge platform to show off our safety record, but also gives us a chance to be involved in one of the most demanding races in the world, not only for the riders, their motorcycles, but also their clothing. Now, as I mentioned before, if you want more information on the CE certifications, please head to our website rst-moto.com and follow the link to the CE page. We'd also love to know what you think of the new range, so please, if you've got any questions, do feel free to get in touch.